नित्यानन्देश्वर समारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरि मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Tanedars, Kotaris, Sri Mahans, and all the devotees, disciples, visitors, viewers, sitting with us in Anandavana, Varanasi, and all over the world through Nityananda TV, Sadhana TV, Ara TV, two-way video conferencing, in many centers having Nayana Diksha, cities sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha, Tiruvanmiyur Adinam, Canada, Toronto, Canada Adinam, Seattle Adinam, Singapore Adinam, Guadalupe Adinam, Redmond Adinam, Torrance Adinam, Kuala Lumpur Adinam, St. Louis Adinam, Bogota, Colombia, Melbourne Adinam, Oman Adinam, Ohio Adinam, Guadalupe Adinam, San Jose Adinam, Houston Adinam, Singapore Adinam, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, Rajabalayam Adinam, London Southwest, Tirunelveli, Bangalore North, Hyderabad Adinam, and some more cities. I welcome all of you with my love and blessings. Listen. Today I'll expand on the subject matter of Kathopanishad, death. How constant dying, which is happening in all of us, if it is approached violently, arrogantly, negatively, turns into pain and suffering. If it is approached with a mood of listening, passively, how it leads to transformation. Listen. By your very nature, you are living consciousness. How much ever you try to frame you into certain ideas and ideologies for the sake of convenience of your everyday life, please understand, if there is a fire in this hall, you have to run out. This frame is perfect to have. If there is an earthquake, you need to leave the hall, go to open space. This framework is perfect to have, nothing wrong in it. These frameworks, rules, understandings, regulations are good to have in the outer world. Like you will sleep only in your house. These are all good to have, but it is so unfortunate you start putting the framework for you inside. Like first time when I felt powerless at the age of 7, how I responded, I will respond the same way till the age of 79, whenever I feel powerless, is a bad framework. Listen, understand the difference. If there is a fire, you need to run out of this hall. It's a good framework to have. Nothing wrong with it. If there is an earthquake, you need to leave this hall. It's a good framework to have. As far as the outer world is concerned, the frameworks are okay because matter functions based on dead decisions and frameworks. Listen, matter, the external matter, because it is already dead, it functions only based on certain law of life. It does not have flow of life. Listen. It has a dharma, it does not have yama. Listen. Yama means flow of life. Dharma means law of life. The objects which has only law but no flow are called dead matter. Objects which has law and flow are called the conscious matter combination. Chit, Jada, Grandhi, human beings. We have the possibility of flow and certain law. For example, if you drink poison, your body will be dead. It's a law. That is dharma. Yama, flow of life. If you want, any time you can excite yourself, enthuse yourself, make yourself happy, is the flow of life. Understand? Flow of life is free, joyful, exciting, enthusiastic expression of you. Yama. Flow of life is your freedom. Yama. Law of life is simple, straightforward rules. Dharma. If something functions only based on law of life, it is dead matter. If something can play between both law of life and flow of life, functions as straight dead matter. Flow of life as a possibility of excitement, enthusiasm, non-materialistic, expansive cognitions. Listen. Non-materialistic, expansive cognitions are possible with flow of life. Yama. Yama, dharma. Please understand this word. The flow of life belongs to consciousness. Law of life belongs to matter. Human being is a possibility. He functions with the flow of life and law of life both. But unfortunately, he overlaps the law of life and forgets, misses the flow of life. All your pain, all your suffering all your pain, all your suffering is because you think flow of life has to be framed into law of life, and you always feel law of life is boring. Law of life is made for matter. In you, there is a part which is matter. Deal matter with law of life, not consciousness. Consciousness need to be cognized constantly with flow of life. I'll give you more examples. Listen. For example, everyday satsang. If you deal it as a law of life, it is boring. Oh God, every day I have to come and sit. Today I have a great attendance in satsang. But instead, if you look, no, it is not same every day. Every day, the new cognition, inspiration, understanding is happening in me, then the same satsang becomes flow of life, not law of life. Even food can become boring if you cognize from the angle of law of life. Please understand, so many youth who are born with silver spoon are committing suicide by middle age because they feel everything is boring. They've seen enough of food. Just for food, they fly hours together from country to country. They've seen enough of liquor, enough of drugs, enough of women, enough of everything. They feel bored. What to do? Let's do something new. Commit suicide. No, really it is happening. Some places where you are not courageous enough to commit suicide, just fall into depression. Law of life, good, as far as you deal the matter. But if you project that on the consciousness, it makes life bored. No work, no working day is same. But you go on believing, you are constantly made to believe, Monday to Friday, it is all same. All the system which makes you a number, listen, all the system which makes you a number tries to put you just into the law of life, dharma, is making you forget the flow of life, yama. Understand? I am revealing the definitions of yama, flow of life, dharma, law of life, the sacred secrets related to both directly from Akashic records. Why is office boring? Why is work boring? Why is work tiring? Because you wrongly cognize and you are made to cognize it is all same. It is law of life. No, never this throne is same for me second day. Understand, every day it is new for me. Every day it is new for me. Every day you are new for me. Every day I am new for me. Every day what I am uttering is new for me. Celebration comes from yama, understanding the flow of life. Not just by dharma, understanding law of life. Understanding law of life is great. It makes things easy. Like I gave the example, if there is a fire, you have to run out of this hall. If there is an earthquake, you need to move out of this hall. This is the dharma, law of life. It is good as far as things of matter is concerned. Dealing with the matter is concerned. But it is unfortunate. Unconsciousness of the people and society makes you think and feel even your life is law of life, dharma. No, it is flow of life, yama. Look in where all you froze yourself. Break all those frozen parts of you. That is what is staring at death. Thou shalt not freeze your life by mistaking yama into dharma. Thou shalt not make your life boring by bringing the dharma into the space where you need to have yama. Please understand, yama is like flowing of the river. Dharma is like water flowing in the canal. Both have different energy, different intelligence. Water flowing in the canal, you can never make sure or guarantee it will reach the ocean. Water flowing as river, you can guarantee it may be in any country. It will reach its goal. Yama, society feels frightened about the people who are flowing. Individual feels frightened about the people who are framing him into law. Understand, both groups are having wrong understandings. The orthodox group which tries to frame an individual, the rebels who try to break the whole society, both are stupid. That is why never both systems were successful on the planet Earth. Neither orthodoxy nor rebellious people will ever be successful. It can be at the most overpowering each other at particular time, conquering each other at particular time, but not victory, winning over. You need to understand what is the matter component of you. What is living component of you? What is matter component of you? And what is conscious component of you? For matter components, good to have dharma, law of life. But conscious components always have yama, flow of life. Flow of life brings beauty to you, grace to you, joy to you. Shiva in you is flow of life. Understand? You just need only little awareness and put your attention on it. To get rid of a cockroach, you don't need a warrior sword and the shield. You just need a light. Look in where you are frozen, where you are feeling tired, bored, dull. I tell you, one more important commandment to all human beings, especially for Hindus: thou shalt not feel bored. Thou shalt not be tired. Tiredness and boredom is crime. Tiredness and boredom is crime, because the conscious part of you, which need to be dealt with the yama, flow of life, is being dealt with the law of life, dharma. What needs to be done with the right hand needs to be done with the right hand. What needs to be done with the left hand needs to be done with the left hand. What needs to be handled with yama needs to be handled with yama. What needs to be handled with the dharma needs to be handled with dharma. Law of life should not overflow into flow of life. And I tell you, the man who has understood law of life, dharma, will never feel his flow of life is affected or disturbed. When you understand your flow of life can never be disturbed by law of life, you understood the matter component of you is not you. The spirit component, the conscious component of you is you. Understand, the conscious component of you is you. The matter component of you is for your utility. This hall is for our utility, all of us to gather and share our time. It is not us. And neither I am this hall, nor you are this hall. Not even this owner is this hall. It's a utility. For the common utility, matter need to function with dharma, law of life. But consciousness does not need to function with law of life. It can just function with flow of life. Whenever the dead rules are posed on your sensitive parts of your being, love becomes marriage. Life becomes boring. Spirit itself needs some spirit to get spirited. Spirit itself needs some spirit to get spirited. Understand, boredom is one of the biggest crime done to individual consciousness. Boredom is one of the biggest crime done to individuals by the collective society. And the worst crime is trying to give foolish solutions for the foolishly created boredom, the so-called entertainment industry. Understand? Instead of solving the problem in the root, for example, you are having a nightmare that 10 tigers are chasing you, 11 lions are attacking you, a anaconda is running behind you. In the dream, you are running. In your bed itself, you are screaming, "Oh, save me, tiger is coming, anaconda is coming, lion is coming." If somebody brings and gives you AK-47 59 and tells you, "Come on, my dear friend, how can you be suffering? Save yourself." You don't know whether he will shoot himself or you. The problem need to be handled in a simple way. Just tap him. "Hey, wake up." But instead, if you try to solve the issue by giving AK-47 and 59, wow, I am giving 59 in the right hand and 47 in the left hand, and giving even 2-3 bombs so that he can throw that and run away from all the animals chasing him. How stupid you are. That is exactly society is doing to you. Instead of making you understand the source of the boredom and go beyond it, it is providing an entertainment industry. Don't live in a country where the entertainment industry is too big. Listen. Don't live in a village where there is no temple. Don't live in a place where there is too much of entertainment. If there is too much of entertainment, be very clear. Those places, people are too violent. To divert their attention, entertainment industries are flourishing. Entertainment industries are nothing but antidote for violence. I am telling you, the real antidote for violence is understanding the source of it and going beyond. These entertainment industries, because they have to divert human beings from violence, the external boredom, they think they are becoming creative, and finally pushing them into fantasies and fantastic violences. A hero hitting somebody and 200 people are dead with a bare hand. The people attacking him are all full of weapons. Is it not a violent fantasy or fantasy-based violence? And Tamil movie, God. A villain will be going in the flight. Hero will be going in the bullock cart and he will catch it. He will catch the villain. And the villain will be the pilot. He will take control of the flight who was driving few minutes before. Bullock cart, who doesn't know anything about flight, who has never got into flight, who was born and brought up in the village, never moved out of the village, will suddenly become the pilot. How? He remembered his past life, knowledge and experience when he was a pilot in the past life. How did he remember the past life memory of driving the flight? Suddenly, without remembering in all these days, no, when he was closing the door of the aircraft, one bolt hit his temple. And the brain has gone through a change. And his past life memory to fly is awakened. Entertainment industry, instead of healing you, unfortunately, only suppressing your feeling bored. I tell you, it is boredom makes you violent. Boredom in life makes you violent. Boredom in life brings frustration. Understand, whenever you see there is no possibility for new flow of energy in your life, then comes boredom, frustration, violence. Anybody who sees the possibility of new flow of life never becomes violent or terrorist. Sanatana Hindu Dharma constantly teaches you possibility for a new energy flow in life. It is living based religion. That is why it is living religion. It is life-based religion. That is why it is life religion. Sanatana Hindu Dharma, first and foremost teaching of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, see what is the part of you, matter, which is the part of you, consciousness, which needs to be dealt with the law of life, which needs to be dealt with the flow of life, which needs to be dealt with the law of life, which needs to be dealt with flow of life. Same cat, when it catches the rat, the teeth works in a different way. When it catches its own kitten, the teeth works in a different way. Same cat, same teeth, cognition is different, context is different, so work becomes different. Catch the matter like a rat, catch the consciousness like kitten, because consciousness is your own. Law of life is different. Flow of life is different. When you know the difference, your whole life will look as flow of life. When you don't understand, the whole life will look like law of life. You will feel, even if some new food is brought, you will taste new food because you are bored with the same food. 100 days you will taste new food because you are bored with the same food. After 100 days, if you suddenly become bored of eating, what will you do? Because the boredom spreads in you in the speed of death. Understand? Boredom at the rate of death spreads in you. The speed with which poison spreads in you, the speed with which death spreads in you, in that speed, boredom spreads in you. Boredom spreads in you. When you are confused, what is law of life and what is flow of life? See, actually, if you approach you and life passively, come on, let me see. What is it that is dead matter in me and living consciousness in me? What is the Chit Jada Granthi, the knot of consciousness and matter? Then you will know you feel fulfilled only when you remember, when you cognize you as flow of life, not as law of life. That's first thing. Second, listen. I was describing complete dead matter to be dealt with the law of life. When you are combination of matter and consciousness, you need to deal matter with the law, consciousness with flow. There is one more group who are fully awakened, conscious. In them, there is no matter exists. They don't cognize anything based on matter, based on the fact or the understanding there is some matter is part of them. They need to be dealt completely. Their life and everything is pure consciousness. It is only yama, no dharma. They are called Jivan Muktas. They are beyond dharma. Their life becomes dharma. What they do becomes dharma. Their embodiment of dharma. Understand? Whenever you overlap the game of the matter into game of consciousness, pain and suffering is given to you as a reminder alarm. Whenever you overlap the law of matter into law of consciousness, or law of consciousness into law of matter, the pain and suffering is given to you as a reminder alarm. No pain is your enemy. No suffering is your enemy. You are just reminded you are confused. My boy, you drank too much, go back home. It's time to go back to the home. You are full. It's a reminder. You are overlapping. It's a reminder. You are becoming stupid. It's a reminder. You are dealing with the life wrongly. Understand. Understand. Whatever I spoke now, if you feel it is going above your head, watch this satsang at least 3-4 times in the next few days. Understand the definition of law of life and flow of life. And spend little time on you, seeing where you apply the rules of the matter, games of the matter, into games of the spirit, games of the consciousness, where dharma is pushed on yama, where yama is not given its original respect and space. Look in. The moment you look in, tons and tons of your problems will be reduced to ashes, and you will know how to die constantly and reborn. All the law of life suffocating the flow of life needs to be killed. In all those spaces, death needs to happen to you. Wherever the flow of life is disturbed by law of life, you need to be reborn. Keep the flow of life alive. Love, excitement, enthusiasm, laughter, living. Keep it alive. This is the science of completion and science of living. Living can never be reduced to a cheap word art. Living is a science. Art is a too small word, too cheap word to be attributed to living. Understand? It is not little jumping, jinging, and jingnicking. It is exploring the extraordinary powers of you, the mystery component of you, the Ashtama Siddhis, and various other powers, and ultimately expressing your Mahadeva himself. You are Mahadeva. Understand? I am telling you, do not do any spiritual or religious practice, kriya, yoga, pranayama, anything, unless it opens up extraordinary powers in you within few days. Extraordinary powers are not the purpose of spiritual practice, but that's a measuring scale whether the practice is authentic or not. Whether it is mandated by Mahadeva or madness, stupidity of some guru. Anything mandated by Mahadeva starts opening up Mahadeva in you. The first openings are always miraculous and extraordinary powers. I tell you, even whatever I am teaching, use this scale, only then practice. Any spiritual practice within few days, means less than double-digit days, should open up extraordinary powers and experiences in you, happenings in you. Only then it is mandated by Mahadeva. Anything mandated by Mahadeva has no expiry date. Otherwise, don't do some technique for the sake of pride. I am doing this for last 39 years. Then it is the combination of confusion and chaos of the guru who taught you that. Let the madness of men who try to brand themselves not waste your life. Let the mandate of Mahadeva be the path for you, the technique for you. Understand, living is a science. If I find a word which has far more depth than science, I'll attribute that word for living. Not anything less. Not anything small. Not anything because it is fashionable. I think I have said enough for today. Now you need to contemplate. You need to think. You need to look in. You need to internalize and internalize the law of life and flow of life. I'll continue to expand on death, the subject matter of Kathopanishad. I'll continue to introduce the truths of death, sacred secrets of death from Akashic records. First, the introduction of the subject matter. Then I'll introduce the Upanishad itself. Then I'll introduce, I should not use the word author, I can say reader. Yamadharma is the rishi of this Upanishad, reader of this Upanishad, not author. Listener, the first listener, Nachiketa. I have to introduce Nachiketa. That is going to be like a hero entry, where I have to give a lot of build-up. And I have to first show only his hand, his feet, his back, the way he walks. Then his shika, only the forehead. Then just the eyes filled with shraddha, authenticity. Only then I can expose him directly to you. The context need to be set for the hero of this Upanishad. Please understand, I tell you really, even Yamadharma looks little pale in front of Nachiketa. He only becomes second hero. Till Nachiketa is introduced, Yama remains as hero. When Nachiketa is introduced, he becomes second hero. No, my apologies to Yamadharma. I am not disrespecting him. But the way the Upanishad goes, God, unquestionably, non-controversially, it is Nachiketa who is hero. Even though he is a disciple, he is a student, he is a listener who is receiving. Only the real calf knows how to get milk out of mother, the cow. How to make the cow release the milk, only the real calf knows. So how to get the truth out of Yamadharma, only Nachiketa knows. It is because of Nachiketa, just like how because of the calf, all of us get the milk. It is because of Nachiketa, we all got the Kathopanishad, greatest nectar. That is why I am saying Nachiketa becomes superhero of the Upanishad. I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Advaita, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org, www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.